So if a man is in a position where he focuses on his mother's life and does what he can to meet her needs, and he typically neglects most of his needs and his own life is heavily ignored, then most likely he won't be aware of his needs, and he probably won't believe, even if he was aware of his needs, that he deserves to have his needs met. And so in order for him to move forward, he will need to get in touch with his needs, and he will need to know that his needs are important. And as his mother would have most likely used him to meet some of her adult and unmet childhood needs, he would have been in touch with his needs very early on, but due to her behaviour, he would have lost touch with his needs. And if he had expressed his needs, he probably would have been punished, disapproved of, and or abandoned. So it simply would not have been safe for him to express his true self and to get what he needed to receive the nutrients that he needed to grow and develop. And so because of this, he will be in a stunted state. Physically he will have grown, and perhaps intellectually, but emotionally he won't have grown. Deep down he can still feel powerless, helpless, and dependent on his mother. And so one part of what will allow him to move forward will be for him to connect to his body, because this is where most of his needs will be found, and due to the trauma that he experienced very early on, he may have a very weak connection to his body. He may spend a lot of time living up top in his head, and so he will need to get back into his body. And the other part of this is that he will need to realise that his needs are important. He will need to develop what could be seen as a healthy sense of entitlement. And this doesn't mean that he needs to believe that everything that he wants will just fall out of the sky and drop into his lap. No, what it means is that he will need to believe that he deserves to have his needs met, and there will also be the effort that he will need to expend when it comes to attaining what he wants. So there will be the feminine and the masculine. The feminine part will be that he will need to develop a healthy sense of entitlement, the sense that he deserves things. And then the masculine part will be for him to develop the ability to go for what he wants, to take action. Because without the healthy sense of entitlement, it will be the difference between him not going for what he wants and from going for what he wants. So through having this sense there, it will give him the belief that he deserves things, and so he will go after that job. He will approach that person. He will take action because he believes that he deserves it. It doesn't mean that he will necessarily always get what he wants, but through having that, he will take action. Whereas, of course, if this isn't in place, then he won't even take the first step, because he won't believe that he deserves to have his needs met and what he wants. And so a key part of what will allow him to move forward will be to develop this healthy sense of entitlement. Because people who have an unhealthy sense just expect everything to drop into their lap. And the world just owes them whatever they want. The world is there to give them what they need. Like a child, because of course the child is powerless, so the child expects their parents to give them what they want. And if someone hasn't grown out of this stage, then they also expect, or they can go the other way, like in this case, the man won't expect anything because his needs were not met very early on, so he won't have that healthy sense of entitlement. So if you're a man and you can relate to this, then it might be necessary for you to reach out for external support so that you can start to get back in touch with yourself and to develop a healthy sense of entitlement, because you deserve to have your needs met. As I said, you may need to play your part, but you will need to realise that you deserve Entitlement. So please don't suffer in silence and reach out for the assistance that you need to gradually change your life. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.